Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a fun video talking to you guys about bronzing, contouring, and highlighting. And this video might be a little long since I'm going to be doing a lot of talking. I'm going to be doing some demos and talking about some of my favorite products in each category. First off, I want to start with bronzer because since the weather's warming up and since it's kind of bronzing season is what I like to call it, because I usually don't wear bronzer year round. If I put bronzer on in the middle of January, it's pretty obvious. It just looks strange on me. So now that the sun is out and it's getting warm, I like to whip out my bronzers and, use them on my face and, my neck and everything. But I wanted to talk to you guys about bronzing, contouring, and highlighting. So first off, bronzing. Bronzer and contouring were very difficult for me to grasp at first because they're very similar, but they're also very different in a way. Bronzer basically is giving warmth and making it look like you've been out in the sun, basically. Bronzing, duh. It's supposed to warm up your face. You're supposed to place it in the, where the sun naturally hits you. Excuse me. Your forehead. I like to do like the backs of my cheekbones a little bit on the side, and then my chin and down my neck to even out everything, because you don't want to have like a tan face and a pale neck. That's just not fun. And then contouring is a little bit different, where you're using kind of the same powder, like a little bit shades darker than your skin tone, but you're hollowing out your face. Basically, you're creating shadows where you're going to be, placing underneath the sides of your cheekbones, down to the bridge of your nose, your neck, your chin, under your jaw, creating dimension into your face. That's really good. I know it's very, very popular with photography, runway, editorial looks, stuff like that. And the thing with contouring is it can look good, but it can also look very just obvious and overkill. You don't want to have two brown streaks running down the sides of your face like that. It doesn't look right. So I think bronzing and especially contouring is one of the most especially for beginners, it's very hard to grasp and it's tricky at first. And then highlighting, of course, is a shimmery liquid or fluid or cream where you place on the tops of your cheekbones, down in the center of your nose, underneath your brow bone, Cupid's bow. I've even seen people place it in the center of their forehead. For this video, I'm going to be talking about highlighting products that have a bronze tint to them. I'm not going to be talking about like champagne white kind of highlighters, because that can be worn year round, but I wanted to talk about more like one of my favorite bronzer highlighters. So my first bronzers that I'm going to talk to you guys about are some of my favorites. The first one is the Bronze Booster from Physicians Formula. This is in the shade light to medium, and it says it's deluxe edition, so I'm not sure if that means it's limited edition or not. And it looks like this. It's a beautiful golden bronzer with a beautiful sun detail on it. And I'm not the biggest fan of Physicians Formula, but I know they have one of the best bronzers, so I really wanted to try one, and I really, really like this bronzer. I like to place this on the sides of my face, down. I even like to place it sometimes over my blush a little bit to give me like that, like if I have like a peach or coral blush, I like to blend it in together. It looks really, really pretty. So this is what I like to use. And then underneath this is just a mirror and then a little brush, but I don't use the brush. But this is my newest bronzer in my collection, and I really, really like this. And another one is a cult favorite here on YouTube. I know a lot of gurus love this bronzer, and I really like it as well. It is the Nars Laguna bronzer. I have it in a duo with Orgasm, and it looks like this. This is a great bronzer, but I only wear it when I'm a little bit darker. This is pretty dark for my skin. It's great though. Like, it blends beautifully into the skin. It's not cakey, it's not ashy, it's not over drying. It's not like that. It's really, really great. Really like this bronzer, but I only use this around mid-July to August when I'm a lot darker than now. So, but I know they have other shades from Nars. So I'm going to be doing a demo talking to you guys about like how I apply my bronzer, how I apply, everything like that. So for my bronzers, what I like to apply it with is a Tools blush brush, and I know it's for blush, but I like using this for my bronzer because on the side view it's a very skinny, precise application. So when I want something to be placed in an exact spot, this is great for it. I'm going to be using my Bronze Booster bronzer for this, and I'm just going to be doing 1/2 of my face so you guys can see a difference in how bronzer can affect one's look. So I'm just going to get a little bit of product on here, and this bronzer is pretty pigmented. Tap off the excess. Also, if you want to, if you're using another bronzer that's really pigmented, rub it on the back of your hand at first, just to pat off the excess and kind of rub it into the skin and get further into the brush. What I like to do is start at the tops of my temple area. Sides of my forehead I like to do a lot because that's where I get a lot of sun. So go like down here. I also like to do the tops of my cheekbones, like down a little bit here. Get a little bit more on this brush. And then just a sliver down the contour area because this is shimmery, so I really don't want to hollow out anything. Also, a while ago when I was at a oh, and go down the sides of your jaw, down by your ear. Also, you can do your ear if you want to. Just adds a slight color to your face. I was also taught by a Chanel associate that you could apply bronzer like this over your face, kind of like an ocean effect. You know how like when we were little we used to draw like the water like whoop whoop whoop, kind of like that, just across, because that makes sense, because that's where, if I ever get sun, that's where one of the first places I get it is right here. So it makes a ton of sense to do it that way, and I've done it before and I really like the effect. So I think it looks great on like really fair skin tones like myself. So yeah, so that is my bronzing little tutorial demo. Now contouring. Contouring is something that I still struggle with a lot. It's difficult. It takes practice and it takes time, and you have to kind of learn the shape of your face. It takes practice. And when it comes to contour products, you want to get a nice matte powder or cream or whatever you use to apply it. Anything matte, because you're trying to create shadows. And shadows don't have sparkle in them, so it looks a little obvious if you're creating this bronzy, you know, shade down the sides of your face and it's glittery. It just doesn't look right. So you want to use a matte finish, whatever the product is. I have a few of my favorites here, and I'm going to talk to them for you real quick. My all-time favorite one, of course, is the Too Faced matte bronzing powder in Milk Chocolate. This is my favorite matte bronzer or contour product or whatever. This is a great shade for those who have really light skin. It's not too dark, it's not too orangey or brown. It's just a very nice light tan color. And it smells great too, so that's always a plus. I really like this, and they also have one in dark chocolate as well. You can use this as a bronzer if you want. Like, I'm not saying like if it's matte you have to use it for contour. I'm not saying that, but I've used this for bronzer before and I really like it. Oh, it smells so good. Another one that I had I just picked up recently in a couple videos back is the Maybelline Dream Sun Bronzing Powder Matte, and this is pretty similar to the Too Faced, but this is a little bit more rosy yellow. It's like got more of a yellow undertone to it, whereas the Too Faced had more of a tan kind of brownish undertone. This is really nice. This is in the shade, I think it's like 120 or something. They were in numbers, they didn't have names, and it looks like this, and I really like this. It's really great. And my last one is actually a blush, but I like using it as a contour as well. This is the MAC blush in Prism, and it's a matte blush, and it's just a deep kind of like brownish neutral blush color. I like wearing this with like a deep red lip, but it's kind of neutralizes everything out. So if you have like bright pink blush on with a red lip, it kind of fights each other. So this is great. But I also like using this when I'm doing like smaller parts of my face, like the sides of my nose, stuff like that. It really does help. I really like it. So with bronzer, one of my favorite brush to use is my Lancome brush. This doesn't have a number on it, but it came with a kit I got a couple years ago around the holidays. And it looks like this. It's a flat top little dense brush that I'm not sure exactly what you would use this for, but I came to terms to use it for my contour because it's very precise and it's small, so it's not going to take up a huge amount of space on my face since I typically have kind of a small face, but this is a great brush. So I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Dream Sun bronzer, and I'm just going to get a little on the brush and see how much is on there. Like, holy cow. Tap off the excess. And you know the trick, if you know, for the bronzer, you kind of do like the 3E effect. And also, I learned from like a Lisa Eldridge tutorial. If you guys don't know who she is, she's a huge makeup artist here on YouTube. She's worked for like editorial. She's amazing. I love watching her tutorials. I heard somewhere in her video, or in her one of her tutorials, that when you're bronzing underneath your cheekbone, you want to stop where your eyebrow ends. So kind of create like an imaginary line and then do the fish face and then just, you know, stop there, because I think it's really weird when people like bring it like way down to like the corner of your mouth. So it's like you have these two lines like this and you're just like, it just looks a little weird. So this, I just like to blend it in here, and this is supposed to create shadows and kind of carve out, you know, parts of your face. You can, I usually don't wear bronzing and contouring at the same time. I usually either or, because I think that's just too much, but I'm just doing it for the sake of this video. And also, you know, down the sides of your neck, down the sides of your jaw. And also, since this brush is kind of, you know, it's great for application, but when it comes to blending stuff out, I like to use my bronzer brush. So I just like to further blend it out, because it can look a little obvious if you're, you know, using such a dense brush. Just blend it out. And the thing with contouring is you want to start slow. You don't want to build up too fast. You just want it to be just right, because it's better to have too little than too much. Then you'll have to go back over, and that's just not fun. So just use, like, hold your brush at like the end and just gently, you know, take your time. You know, this takes a lot of practice, and I'm still learning, so it takes practice and it takes time, but eventually you'll figure it out. Like anything, everything comes with practice. And I'm not an expert, by the way. I don't want you guys to think that. I have completely self-taught myself through YouTube. Lots of YouTube help, but as you can see, it has that subtle glow to it, which I really like. And last but not least is the wonderful world of highlighting. I love highlighting products. I think they are so fun to shop for, so fun to experiment with, and they're really, really easy to apply. I have a few highlighting products that I want to share with you. So the first one is something else from Maybelline. It is the Dream Sun Bronzing Face Illuminator, and I used this in my last tutorial, I think, my last video, and it's just a beautiful deep golden bronze color, and it's very, very shimmery, so be careful, because if you have very light skin like me, use a little, because it goes a long way. So this is a very glittery product, but it's not like chunky glitter. It's very finely milled glitter, which I like. And then the other one is this is a classic. Like, if I ever run out of this stuff, I will repurchase it again in a heartbeat. This is the Soleil Tan de Chanel Sheer Illuminating Fluid in Sunkissed. This is similar to Dream Sun, but it's more of a rose golden color, and it doesn't have any glitter. It's just more of a sheen. It's not like glittery or anything, but I've had this for over a year, and I am nowhere close to being finished. And I really, really like this product a lot. Oh, I dropped the cap. Similar to Dream Sun, but it's different in its own way. And I know Chanel is expensive, but I really think that you can get a lot of time and use out of this product. And the last one is something that I finally started using, and I really, really like it so far. This is the Wet n Wild Fergie Shimmer palette in Rose Golden Goddess. This came out, her collection came out like in February, and I was like, I cannot wait till it warms up so I can finally use this. and it looks like this. It kind of reminds me of a MAC MSF, kind of that just like that different shades of color within, and it's just, it looks baked in a way. It's really, really pretty, and they also had a shade lighter, but they didn't have it, but I really wanted to try this one because I really liked it, so that's what it is. So for my highlighting products, what I like to use is a stippling brush. I like to use my Sonia Kashuk stippling brush like this. I picked this up at Target, you know, not expensive at all. And I'm going to be using the Fergie one since I have not used this yet in a video. And what I like to do is just get a little product on the brush. This product is really pigmented, so a little goes a long way. I'm just going to swirl it around a little bit. Then I tap off the excess. And of course, when you do your highlighting, you want to place it at the highest points of your face. So tops of your cheekbones, which is the most popular spot. And I hope you guys can see that shimmer there. And this, like, it gives off like a golden feel, but it's not, you know, like super dark or anything. So that. Then down the bridge of your nose, get out of the way, the bridge of your nose, and Cupid's bow. So really, really easy, and I hope you guys can see. I'm gonna put my hair back so you guys can see for a second. This half of my face has no blush, bronzer, contour, anything on it, and then this half has all the product. So as you guys can see, you know, it really does make a difference in, you know, the way your face structure looks, especially for photography or any type of thing that involves a camera. It makes a big difference. But I hope you guys found this video helpful, informative, and fun at the same time. I have been wanting to do this video for a while now because I was getting out all my stuff and I was like, I should do a video about this, like talking about my bronzers and how to do this and how to do that, because I think it's interesting, and it also is something that I'm still learning in a way. Like it takes a lot of time, and I really, really am interested in, you know, learning about this stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys on Saturday for my next video. Bye!